Today I wanted to talk a little bit about organizational design, more specifically from the standpoint of capability modeling. This was actually a question a couple of days ago on one of the enterprise architecture radio communities requesting me to talk about capability modeling. So I thought I would take it up. Now the word capability can be interpreted in many ways when it comes to enterprise architecture. There is capability, and then there is business capability, and then there is capability mapping. There is capability mapping with value streams. There is capability-based planning. There is enterprise architecture capability. So many things. But if you get to the root of the word capability, the word literally means the ability of an organization to do something. And when I talk about organization, I don't mean a company, a legal entity. What I really mean is an organization. An organization could be a department. It could be a business function. It could be a team. It could be a combination of all of this. And that's what a capability really is. An organization, if you look at the definition of organization, is a group of people working together to achieve a common objective, right? So the word capability means the ability of an organization to do something. Now, enterprise architecture is a capability. Finance is a capability. Recruitment is a capability. So why is the word capability so important from an enterprise architecture standpoint? Why am I even talking about it? This takes me to the idea of organizational design. Usually, organizations are designed organically. What that means is when the organization grows, it acquires new capabilities. Somebody decides that we need a new team here to do something like marketing or whatever. And we need a new team who takes care of branding. And there is one more team we need who will take care of technologies and so on and so forth. And that's how the organization grows. New departments are formed, new teams are formed, new processes are created, and so on and so forth. Is that the best way to design an organization? For a small to medium-sized organization, it is not really an issue. I will not talk about whether it's best or not. What I'm going to say is that it's not a point of contention. There are more important things that you're focused on when you are a small to medium-sized organization. You're trying to expand your scope, expand your business, whatever it is that you're doing. And so organizational design is not really something that you think about very often. But slowly what happens is organization becomes more complex. The number of capabilities increases, people increase, technologies being used increase, your market increases, the number of products that you own increases, services that you provide, etc. And things start becoming more and more complex. To give you an example, usually how organizations are designed are you hire someone to take care of something. Let's say you hire a marketing head, right? And then you let the marketing head build his own team. So what happens is he'll go and say, okay, I need 5 people. One will take care of branding. One will take care of advertising. One will take care of sales. One will take care of content. And one will take care of something else, right? So that is your marketing team. And then let's say you have research and development as an organization and you hire a R&D head. And the R&D head is building his own team. So he's going to say, I'm going to need X, Y, Z to take care of these things. And I also need somebody to take care of content. I want somebody to talk about what we are doing as far as our research and development is concerned. And then you hire someone for something else and they also have. So now what you have is you've got multiple teams taking care of content in multiple corners of the organization. And this is redundancy. And this is just one example that I'm giving you of redundancy. Because you're building the organization or you're designing the organization top down. You're hiring somebody, you're allowing that person to build the team, and they're going to build the team without looking at what exists, what not, or what have you, right? They want their own team. They want their own people. And this is a very crude example because, well, if I'm going to be the marketing head and if I'm thinking that I need content writing capabilities, then I'm going to first look and see if there is already that capability within the organization or not. This is just a logical thing to do. But, this is just a crude example. There are many different ways where redundancies in capabilities come up. it could be because of a merger or an acquisition or a divestiture, or it could be simply that, we did not know that this already existed and we created a new one. Capability-based planning is a exercise where it forces you to look at these things. It forces you to document all the capabilities that you have within the organization first, so you don't hire someone and then ask them to build the team. What you really do is you first map all the capabilities that you have within the organization, because nobody's really looking at the entire organization and all the capabilities that exist within the organization. People are siloed in their vision, and they would be naturally, because the organization has become big and complex, and every head of function needs to look at their own function. So that's what, and things happen slowly and organically, and the complexity keeps on increasing and the redundancies keep on increasing, and that leads to waste. So what enterprise architecture does is it says, no, let's first build a capability map. Let's try to figure out all the capabilities that exist within the organization and write them down on a piece of paper. And when I say piece of paper, what I really mean is some enterprise architecture tool or some repository or what have you. And then let's try to see where all these capabilities are being used, and let's start mapping them. And that is what you call capability modeling or capability mapping. You try to understand which department uses which capability, which department provides which capability, and so on and so forth. And then based on that, you come up with horizontals and verticals where you have shared services that can be used across multiple organizations. And you have specific verticals which are unique to what they do, and so on. And that is basically what capability-based planning is. And what it really does is it eliminates redundant capabilities and improves efficiencies. There is also the concept of value streams. Value streams essentially means that, so there is processes and there is value streams. Processes are more detailed, where you try to understand each and every step within the process and everything, all the people and everything. Value streams are really streams of how an organization delivers value, right? And what is value? Every organization will have different definition of value. For some it is money, for some it is sales growth. For example, marketing team would consider sales growth as value. Manufacturing would probably look at volumes and quality as value. IT would probably look at how they can improve efficiencies of business processes as value. So every organization will have their own definition of value, but every organization will also have their own way of delivering value. There will be steps in the value delivery process. So if you take the recruitment example, there will be multiple steps in the recruitment example. First, there will be a position created, and then in the next step, the HR would be notified, or the recruitment or the staffing team would be notified about a new position being created with the job description and everything. And then the staffing team will work with the hiring manager to truly understand what kind of candidate they are looking for. So there will be that interaction. So, that will be another step. Then they will publish this position either internally or externally or both. Then they will accept resumes, and then they will shortlist resumes. They will initiate the interview process. The interviews would be taken, and then they will identify a candidate, hire the candidate, onboard the candidate. So these are different steps that you have in the hiring process. And this is the value stream, right? It's a stream of value adding activities and how value is being delivered by the organization. Now, once you've created a value stream, what you can do is you can map it against the business capabilities that we have within the organization. So if you just take the example that we took, let's say it's hiring. A position is created within the, let's say, project management organization within IT, right? We are assuming that there is a PMO organization within IT, and a position has been created. I would like to hire a program manager, right? Now this is notified to the staffing team, which means staffing team is involved. So one of the business capabilities would be staffing. We would also have to set up a budget for this particular candidate. So finance team would also be engaged. So finance capability is also engaged in this step. And then in the next step, there's a conversation between the project management team and the staffing team. So those two capabilities. And then in the next step, we have, and so on and so forth. So we continue through each step within the value stream, each value adding activity, and what are the business capabilities which are engaged in each step of the value stream. This gives you a clear picture of all the different capabilities that are engaged in a particular value stream, and then you make a list of value streams for each organization. Staffing would initiate some of the value streams. Project management team would initiate some of the value streams. Finance function would initiate some of the value streams. Manufacturing function would initiate some of the value streams, and so on and so forth. So now we have a list of all the value streams that exist within the organization and how they interact with each other, how they work with each other. And then these value streams can be detailed out further to create processes. So we have a notation called BPML, which is business process modeling notation, right? Or business process modeling language. We can use the BPML to model all the different value stream activities and create business processes which are complex. And then we can then overlay them with various applications, various data, and various technologies that exist within the organization that interact with these processes. So it all begins at business capability mapping, goes on to value stream mapping, and then could later on be converted into BPML and what have you. So that is really, this is one of the aspects of business architecture, but I just wanted to briefly talk about business capabilities, business capability mapping, business capability based planning, value streams, value stream mapping, and then finally converting it into a business architecture. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. There's a lot more to business architecture than just business capabilities and value streams. And probably we'll continue to talk about all these things in the future episodes. If you've liked this episode, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Share it with your friends, family, colleagues, people who are interested in this kind of stuff. And continue to talk to me. Because all these podcast ideas that I get, all the episodes that I cover, these are ideas that I get from my listeners. And once again, I would like to remind you that Enterprise Architecture Radio is less a podcast and more a collaboration platform. So we should continue to talk to each other. We should guide each other, learn from each other. But most importantly, we should have fun.